John Stevenson is walking around with a handout just so you can see where we are, like what's going on. This won't be long. All right, as John passes out, hopefully everyone has enough. If you want to squeak out, you can. But real quick, these town hall meetings are just, again, looking at where we are, or where we've been, where we are, and where it is we're going. Real quick, finances, you can see this. Last time I held this, it was not good. It was the end of February, and February and January's giving were not good. But I want to just commend the church, commend you on really stepping up. And so you can see in April, our giving was almost at $20,000. So way to go, guys. Like, this is such an encouragement to us. The reality is if giving is not there, the going isn't either. And so the giving is starting to be there. And so you can see our current assets, we're at $93,000. This is a healthy place for us financially. So thank you. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Where else have we been? Well, we're in a season in which COVID is kind of ending. And so church is starting to get back to normal. But with that, we're starting to see, okay, there are roles and responsibilities in the church that need to be taken care of. So the best picture that I have is like we're waking up and we're awake, but we're rubbing our eyes and we are okay. And so we are really looking at what does it mean to do discipleship in this church? Who do we have in this church? So we've added people to the church that previously weren't here. So like, I'll give you an example. Rory Yates has been such a huge blessing to us, and like sitting and talking with him, I want to utilize Rory in the life of our church and to use the gifts that he has to help shepherd and guide and disciple this church. And so we're working with Rory, and I'm assigning roles to Blake and to John, and then to Jordan as well. So there's a lot of roles and responsibilities that are being responded to, that this waking up has revealed to us. So that's where we've been. Where are we? Well, we're in the midst of a summer transition, and I just want to speak real briefly about summer transition. Summer's the time when a lot of people are traveling, but it's also a time when a lot of people are checking out churches. So why do I say this? I say this because it's really important that if you're in town, show up, because we might have visitors coming. And so if visitors come in and a lot of us are on the road, it's tough. Like, they stick out like sore thumbs. And you're like, oh, that's the worst. But also to encourage you that when you see a smaller crowd in the summer, don't be discouraged. I'm very encouraged by the commitment that a lot of you have to the church, even when you're gone. And so I think where we are currently is that it's just, we're really getting into a healthy direction and recovering where we are. I've talked to several pastors that have said that we lost 30% of our congregation, and they're still at 30% less than we had. We've lost a lot of people in our church, but thankfully we're getting closer to the percentage that we lost. So we've only felt maybe, I think it's about an 8% loss right now. So that is a very rare thing in the church as a whole. And so be encouraged by that. Secondly, where we are. I see this space as a very helpful space, but I see it also as a space with its challenges and its limits. So for example, we don't have a nursery space right now. And it's really hard for people like the Moonies to come and to kind of like take care of them. And so right now we are in the process of figuring out where are we going as a church. Like, I don't have the answer to that question. I've contacted where we were previously in Hillcrest. They're still closed. I've got some other coals in the fire that are kind of cooking up and things like that. But if you know of a space, seriously, if you know of a space of where we could go that would help have more childcare space so we don't have to walk outside and we can hear the childcare space, let me know. It's a challenge where we are right now. So that's where we've been, where we are. Where are we going? There's two things, and this is probably the biggest news of note, and it's definitely bittersweet. So December of last year, Kevin called me, I think it was December, and he just was like, the distance driving from Conway to Little Rock is wearing on me, and I just want you to know that. And I was like, I get it. I totally understand that. And so he said, if I get a job that helps pay for all the things, I'm probably going to begin the transition off of this role. And so, by God's grace, he did get that position that he was looking for. And he said to me a few weeks ago, hey, Dan, will you start looking pretty aggressively for another worship guy? And so we did. I immediately contacted some of the people that I had. And then I got a request from someone in our church saying, I'd actually love to do this. And so this person is Justin Lester. Justin has a huge, a lot of experience with music. He's led worship at Fellowship, Summit. He's even led worship here. And so beginning in July, Justin is going to be taking the keys of music from Kevin. But really what I want to do is give thanks to Kevin for this. Sincerely, Kevin has been such a blessing to us. I mean that, and I tell him that all the time. It probably feels like it's a broken record. And he'll say the same thing to us. We've been a blessing to him. But he started 2 weeks before the pandemic. And he navigated us through all the online worship. He navigated us through so much. And so he's been such a blessing to us, and he does such a good job leading worship. And so blessings to you guys as you look for a church home in Conway. I hope we can still hang out and talk from time to time. But you've been such a blessing, and so we're thankful. But we're also thankful for you, Justin, an internal hire, someone in our church who said, I want to do this. And so thankful for you as well. Lastly, where we're going. So one of the things that I see just a deep need of our church is children's ministry. And so I want to begin to invest in children's ministry. And so I'm looking to hire a children's ministry director so that we can really do children's ministry well. At the same time, and I've already asked Jordan Washington to begin a student ministry. Now, it's not going to be a student ministry like it pies in your face, but I'm giving Jordan, I told Jordan, I said, this is what I want you to do. I want you to care for the middle school and high school students that are coming through our church. And so for those of you that don't know Jordan, Jordan has been a high school teacher at Baptist Prep. He is transitioning to a school called Pinnacle Classical Academy where he'll continue to teach middle school and high school students. He's got a passion for the Lord, and I really am looking forward to what he's going to do for the middle school and high school students that come in our church. And we don't have a lot. But we really want to begin to say with confidence that everyone who walks into the doors of this church is going to be seen and is going to be discipled. That people are going to know what it is to be loved and to love. And so if I look at it right now, we're not doing a very good job with our children, and it's crazy, I get it. But we want to begin to think about our children and the students in our church so that everyone from womb to tomb might be in the sheepfold of God. So that's where we are. Any questions that you guys might have where we are? It's really just an opportunity for you to ask questions from me. Yeah, John.
Raise our hand to this?
Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, this is a very informal time.
I was curious where we were with particularization.
So, okay, that's a great question. The question was where are we with particularization? And for those of you who don't know, particularization is we are currently a church plant and we don't have government oversight from within the church. To get government oversight in the church, we have to have a certain amount of members, and then the members have to then vote on the people in the church who will be the shepherds of that, and then there has to go through an ordination process. So with COVID, John, what happened is when we lost 30%, we basically put that on the back burner. And so I have an oversight committee that's over me and that I have to report to on a consistent basis, and they agreed, why don't you just get things done and then revisit it. So we haven't revisited it. Our big thing right now is to try to increase membership and then to discern those who in our church who are able to become ruling elders in our church. And I think one of the hardest things over this season is that several of the people that left our church were some of the most qualified people for elders. And that was like such a kick in the gut. And so that's kind of where we are right now. So I don't know if is that helpful?
Sure.
Yeah, that's good. Any other questions?
You mentioned this in your sermon on oversight.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're part of a Presbyterian church, and that's a government structure. My oversight right now is the other Presbyterian church here in town called Covenant Presbyterian Church. It's made up of their ruling elders and teaching elders, and so I have to report to them monthly where we are spiritually, financially, and all of those things. And they ask me all sorts of questions. But I even have more support. I have mentors that I am touching base with. I have other pastors that I'm being held accountable to by. So that's my oversight. But what we'd love to do is to get out from under them and then create the oversight from the people that you see and hear. And so that's that. And I will be one of those people. What's up? Good question. Yeah, Stuart.
What do you need for a nursery? What does that look like?
I think space is primarily a space. The problem with the nursery is you need access for the parents. It would be really hard for them to go around. It's no. So our previous location, we used a library. They had like a little library, a boardroom, and we created this space where the kids could like crawl around, and then you have like a nursery for. Yeah, we have like a rug. The rug we usually put down in the back. So that's what we've been using, but it's just not. What our budget right now is a little over $15,000 a year. I think it's like 17. It's about, we pay $350 a week for this location. So that's what we've been budgeting by. But I mean, I think one of the encouraging things from the giving is that what I also did mention is that we're not spending as much. Now, granted, that sometimes churches spend seasonally, so like you might drop $2,000, early in the year, but then you don't spend it, or you don't spend $2,000 till later in the year. But like right now, we're under budget, what we budgeted, so that's good. And we're not spending certain things in certain places, so we have flexibility to work within the budget for increased revenue or for increased expenses for space.
Do you own the shares?
No, they own it. Yeah, they own that, which is a huge blessing. So, good question. Anything else? All right. Thanks, guys. If you have any questions, if you have any critiques, or you can email me, dan@centralhope.org. But with that being said, God bless you, and we'll see you later.